Boobies, boobies, boobies.
I was recording.
Sorry.
Fucking did.
Welcome to the Spiro Diaries podcast with Laura and Elise.
Two mermaids chatting spearfishing and ocean adventures.
This episode covers Elise's recent liveaboard dive trip to the Great Barrier Reef in Australia.
It features many first species and learnings and short catch-up recordings with some of the crew. So, let's get into it.
Oh, Elise, it's bloody lovely to see you, my friend.
Yeah, it's good. I've been missing you, Laura, you know.
Yeah, well, I had to hang out with other people, dive with other people, and wait to hear your updates about the beautiful and glorious Australian adventure on the liveaboard at Great Barrier Reef. And I know that a ton of our followers and listeners have been hanging out to hear all about your awesome trip.
Well, as you know, every single day I missed you, and lucky I was underwater because you didn't see my tears coming out of my eyes.
Yeah, I bet you're worrying about me all in Auckland.
I was. We multiple times through the trip mentioned like, oh, it would have been so cool if Laura was here, and even Darren said that, and Jeremy and Jake, and yeah,
I appreciate it. It was a solo journey for you, mate, and everyone at training just kept being like, how's Elise going? Wow. How's Elise's trip? How's her forearms from holding up fish?
Yeah, I did mildly put my back out because my fish were too heavy for me to lift up. No, that didn't happen. No, but honestly, yeah, it was incredible. It was such a cool time, and yeah, we did miss you, and there will be other trips where we'll be able to do an overseas trip together. So it
was kind of neat not actually knowing what was going on. Like, you guys didn't have a lot of reception.
No reception.
And it didn't really, to be honest, even to this point, I haven't actually heard all of the detail because we kind of wanted to save it for the podcast, because otherwise you're repeating the stories a second time when we record. So I know a little bit about like the highlights and like the best fish and some of the, juicy parts, but I don't know all of it. So my ears are gaping.
Well, I'm excited. It's good to have a good gape, Laura. Tonight, just side note, Laura came around and she went and brought a whole bunch of scallops that she had harvested from the only place that we're allowed to get them from in the North Island now. So I
was blindfolded today. I cannot share where this was, but yes, I had the pleasure, and honestly, I feel really, really grateful. I was taken out with a mate, Ihaka and his lovely wife, and yeah, they took me to a spot where we were hoping that there might be some scallops, and I have never seen scallops in the water. I've never got one out and eaten it fresh, and it was just the best time, like short dive. Not very strenuous, and couldn't see an absolute thing in front of, I could barely see my hands in front of my face. It was an amazing experience being able to see all those different little things going on down there in the sort of little muddy, murky sand, to bring back a big feed for us to enjoy.
Good big bucket back for us, and we cooked them up in beautiful ways, and yeah, I'm sure we'll chat a bit more about that another time, but my goodness, she warmed me up and I'm ready to go. So
we've discussed this. Keep it appropriate. Keep it appropriate.
I'm talking about the podcast. So.
But no, it was really cool. But I want to hear about Aussie. So roll us in, set the scene.
Okay. Well, people have said, how was Australia? And I said, hard. So like, genuinely, like, it was probably the hardest diving I've ever done. And like, when I think about it, people are like, why? And I'm like, well, because it was just so different to New Zealand in every way. Like, in New Zealand, we have a lot of reeds, we have a lot of structure that we try to get very sneaky in and we hide behind. And it's probably a lot more like diving weed lines, I guess. Yeah, you don't go sit right on the bommies because, well, first of all, there's heaps of beautiful coral that you don't want to like break, that's taken so long to grow. So you kind of like sit out in front, also because the fish don't act like that as well. So you have to like sit out on the sand and you just dive down, let yourself glide down. And it's just learning how to keep your body still on the bottom as well. Like, you think you're being still, but like still you might be like your fins are up, your chest is up, your head's up. Like, you really just lay flat and wait.
Plus,
and
you've got different temps, right? And just for the people who
yeah.
might not have listened to your other episode pre-going, which if you haven't, go back and listen to Two Great Barriers, because that's Elise's discussions before this trip, which is really interesting to hear what she's expecting before she went. But just for those who don't know, you were at the Great Barrier Reef in Australia.
Yeah, Great Barrier Reef in Australia, diving beautiful 24-degree water, up to 20 metres. Plus visibility sometimes. Sometimes it dropped down to 4 metres visibility, which is exceedingly fun with bull sharks. So
I didn't realise it got that bad. I kind of just pictured it all being 30 metres.
Yeah.
And you were saying before that you were just on the inside of the reef, which is a huge area.
Yeah.
Of like hundreds of small little...
Yeah, so specifically looking at like demersals, like reef fish, instead of like particularly going for like doggies or anything like that. But still on my list to do. I would very much like to get a doggy one day. Yep.
Woof woof, so would I. Let's make it a joint trip.
Yeah, deal.
Okay, so you said you had about 5.5 days of diving.
Yeah.
And we were like, how do we cover the highlights and stuff? But there's so much cool stuff that you've mentioned. So let's start out. Day one, I thought it was really cool. You actually made like a bit of a diary, a Spiro Diaries journal for yourself after each day.
Yes.
So you could kind of remember all the different things and what happened and what you learnt, which is really cool.
Well, because I'm quite a forgetful person, and, you know, as a New Zealander, when somebody says, you know, ask you about a story and they go, how was your day? You go, good. And that's about as much detail as you can actually get out of you. So
unless you're me and you just talk too much about everything and everyone wants you to stop. But yeah,
untrue. And so I made a bit like diary entry per day of everything that happened, and it was really good for me, even just to like go back and remember. But anyway, besides the point. First of all, we barely made it there.
The dramas of arrival.
Yeah, one of our crew. So I went over there with the Weddy crew, and then also on top of that we had a few like extra. So it is a wetty trip, and so Darren, Andrew, Jeremy, and Jake were the Weddy staff that came along, and then we had another group. Just of people that had paid for the trip. So it's the tropical trip that they run every year in August.
So that's the Witty Spearfishing New Zealand store and brand, and then they encourage anyone else who can come and be part of their trip if they pay their way as well.
And it's already starting to book out for next year. So if you want to get on it, flick Darren an email, so you can hear about that a little bit more further on though. And
they do info nights. Sorry to butt in there, but they do info nights about kind of what to expect and what the trip is if you are considering going. So yeah, and
also just for like tropical, like how to dive tropical as well,
and what gear you need on tropical trips. Say like you took some different gear and stuff for your trip.
Yeah. So we almost missed our second flight with some fast-paced running through the airport. I was in shock and in awe of how fast everyone could run. So it was like, you know, when you're running and you're like, oh yeah, I'm running, I'll keep the pace. But then there's like, oh, I'm actually going to have to kick in and put a bit more pace here, because otherwise we're just totally...
Like full airport sprints.
Full airport sprints, yeah.
Nice.
Carrying all our gear.
All of you together.
All of us together. Nice. It was beautiful. Some of us left others in the dust. I was the one probably left in the dust. Anyway, so we get there, we make it. You know, in New Zealand, we don't have any dangerous animals. We don't have anything really that can hurt you. And so it's quite strange being in a country where everything wants to hurt you, you know? You
did say that actually. I said a couple of like your third or fourth comment, and you're like, look, everything there just wants to kill you. I was like, okay.
It does.
Not just underwater.
For example, I'm like, the very first moment we get there, within like half an hour, I like see this giant orb-web spider, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go take a photo. And then I go to like step into the bush to take a photo of it, and Jeremy's like, oh, I probably won't walk in the bush. And I was like, what? I mean, I can't see any snakes. Not thinking about anything else. Like less than a minute later, I'm being bitten by an ant and it hurt heaps. And I was like, what is this place? But anyway, spearfishing, right? We're talking about that.
Cairns, spearfishing, getting on a boat.
Yeah, so, okay, so we all get together, we meet our whole crew there.
All up, how many of you are there on this boat?
Oh,
Like a liveaboard boat.
that's a really good question.
They've got a couple of staff.
Yeah, it was probably like 14 altogether, including the staff. Like there's the captain, there's the owner, who is one of the people that go out on the charter. So he runs the charters, owns the boat, but he has a hired captain that does all the driving, which is a really cool way of doing things. We've got another skipper, and then also the chef, who was incredible. She was just such a good cook, and she just made the trip. Every time we got back to the boat, she was just cooking up something incredible.
Excellent. And so you're all together on obviously quite a big vessel if you've got that many of you sleeping on there for like 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, exactly. So, so we drove up to Yorkeys Knob and all jumped onto this boat. Yes, that is a town name.
Yorkeys
Knob. I imagine like 100 years ago, Yorkie was like, I'm going to name this town after my knob. And ever since then, we've been they've all been impressed with it. So the other thing is that there is a mound there that they call the Knob. But anyway, so we get down on the boat. The first day we start driving out, and so we were just basically steaming on the first day, and we got up to Escape Reef and Ribbon 1. And the very first day diving, I jumped in with Darren and Jakey, and just kind of like learnt a little bit how to be in the water. So like I felt very much like I was taken right back to the beginning of spearfishing, and like I was very much like, oh, okay, I feel like a complete beginner again, which is humbling, but also very good for me. So I found it like quite tricky, just learning how to interact with the fish, because there's also just so many fish, and it's just every species that I was seeing was completely new. So I was like, what is that? And it really took a few days to really tune into what fish we were actually seeing, and also because the colors and like photos are completely different to what the colors are underwater. You know, when you're losing your color underwater, you know, like all your bright red coral trout underneath the water look quite grey. So that's all kind of interesting. Yep, so my very first fish was a sweet lips, which
a sweet lips.
Sweet lips, yeah. So that's.
I'm picturing some juicy sweet lips. Is this what it actually looks like?
Yeah, they do have very big sweet lips, and they're really beautiful fish. I kind of dove down into a cave, thought it was something else, and came up with the sweet lips.
Do they look like a bunch of other fish or something? Like, maybe I should Google it.
Yeah, take a little Google.
Is this kind of like something you can't eat, or is it just a fish that most people don't shoot?
I think it's got. I don't know if.
Is it this?
Yeah, one like that one there that she showed me.
It's got a very long scientific name.
I shot myself a sweet lips, which was mildly embarrassing because everybody on the boat said don't get this. And then for the rest of the boat trip, I managed to get myself nicknamed Sweet Lips Houlihan, Sweet Lips Hot Lips Houlihan.
Sweet Lips Houlihan.
Yeah.
So they have blubbery looking lips.
Yes, they do.
Thick, blubbery looking. Nice.
So that was fine. So I dove around with them for the first half of the day. Was meant to get back in with them in the afternoon. But unfortunately I had like a bit of a, let's just say Elise moment where I just completely lost my mask and my snorkel and couldn't find it. Everyone got off the boat and taking ages. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've lost it off the side.
You mean you weren't the first person in the water, like rapidly getting dressed and pushing everyone else out of the way?
I was very slow. So what that meant was everyone jumped in. I was like, well, I'm just going to have to look for it. Ended up finding it. It was exactly where I left it, which is fine. But yeah, by the time I got all my stuff together, there was no one around. So my awesome, well, not just my, but our awesome skipper, Isaac, put me in up ahead on the reef, and then was next to another guy called Peter, who's like a doctor in Australia, and is basically every coral trout on the reef should fear him because that's what he likes to get. And so I'd seen him over there, and as I was swimming over to him, a really big Spanish cruised in front of me. And I was like,
Spanish mackerel?
Yeah, Spanish mackerel. And earlier I'd seen one with Darren, but I was not fast enough to shoot it. So by myself, and I'm like, I have to plug that. So took a shot, lined it up, took the shot, and like nailed it. And I was just super happy.
Is this like on the surface? They're like quite fast fish and they're quite easy to tear off and stuff.
Yeah, they're very soft. So it's a really good thing to try and get them like in the middle so that, it's less likely to tear off. You can go for a headshot, but I'm just not very good at aiming. Not the best shot around.
Not true. But okay,
well,
so you go
that
for...
trip, I lost more. I epically missed more fish than I ever have in my life, and it's probably because I took a gun that I wasn't used to. But still,
Instagram tells me a different story of some great fish that
so
you
maybe
got.
I'm a little harder on myself than I should be.
Okay, so you're on this pelagic, and you land this fish, and you're kind of low key by yourself.
So take the shot. It takes a good run, and then after it's run, I pull it in, and then I see the boat. A little bit off in the distance, and I was like, okay, that's where the tender is, which is like the small boat that we're out on.
You're diving with float boats, by the way?
Yes, I had a float boat.
Did you have a certain banana yellow float boat belonging to me?
I do. I did have that.
It's a good luck charm.
It is a good luck charm. Unfortunately, Laura doesn't have any more, but it got given to one of the coolest people I've met in a while. So I'll tell you about that later.
That's all right. I was more just trying to picture you landing this fish and wondering, okay, you're sort of low-key by yourself. You have a float boat. The tender's nearby.
Yeah, tender's nearby. And anyway, this white tip gets very interested in me. And I'm like, white tip shark.
Had you seen many at this point, or was it sort of like your first sighting of them?
Yeah, no, they've been around the whole time for sure. So yeah, this little guy gets very, very interested and decides that what I've caught wants to be his lunch as well, or hers, whatever.
Lazy.
Yeah, exactly. So, actually, no, it wasn't a white tip; it was a black tip. Sorry. They look fairly similar, just different coloured tips.
Different tips. Right, just the tips.
Yeah, so it gets very interested in what I've got and starts coming in and having a bit of a charge. So I've got this Spanish in my legs. I've ickied it. The spear is still through it. I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy's like coming in pretty hot. And so I'm like I pulled out my dive knife and I'm having to as it's coming in to try to take a bite of this Spanish that's in my legs that I'm holding, I'm having to
So it still charged you even though you had the fish completely in your control.
Yeah, I had it in
and
my
still
control and it was charging, yeah. So it just kept, they were pretty cheeky and pretty aggressive. So yeah, I was stabbing it off and then it came back 5 or 6 times for a good run each time and I was oh my goodness. Meanwhile I'm trying to put my hand up in the air, hold on to the fish and stab off the shark at the same time. So it's I'm whistling out pretty loud. Anyway, they come over, put the Spanish into LJ's hands and he sorts it out for me, which is really lovely. And then I go look over and went to go just tell Peter about this cheeky little chap. And just as I get there, he drops down. I see the shark. It's followed me. And he takes a shot on this coral trout. And it was quite a decent sized coral trout. And the thing just comes in and just bites it in half. It's only a metre and a half long.
Yeah, you showed me the GoPro footage of the shark destroying his coral trout.
It's not a big shark.
Different
it's
to a bronzy, eh? They're little and finer
meters.
looking, but they look nasty.
Well, they're just like a chihuahua. They just keep coming back, It's just
they've learnt they get a free feed. They've figured it out.
Well, I don't know. They just it doesn't faze them that we're in the water. Anyway, this thing just comes and bites onto his coral trout, eats it in half, and then comes back in for another chomp, and then starts almost choking on it. It gets stuck in its mouth, and we're trying to stab it off to make it let go and swim off, like you would with a bronzy. And it just doesn't give a crap. It's yeah, what? Carry on. And then, but it actually ended up getting a bit stuck in its mouth. And I saw it starting going very slow. And it started not really being able to move anymore. And I was oh no. It's I don't know if sharks can do this, but I just remembered that if they're not moving forwards, they can't breathe.
The gills get funny, eh?
Yeah. And I was oh, it's getting lethargic. I can't move. So I ended up just holding onto the line and kind of just moving it through the water back and forth until it could get enough like energy, and then it got some energy and then like managed to wriggle free. And then he went back for another little nibble, and I was like, get out of here. Get out of here, mate.
Like, you're annoying, but I kind of feel bad if you choke on your dinner.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that was my first up close and personal interaction with a blacktip.
But
kind
you
of annoying.
also became the first
Oh, yeah.
achiever of the bet.
We had put a wager on at the start of the trip. Whoever gets the largest Spanish mackerel of the trip, everyone chucks in $10 and the winner takes the proceedings, which in the end, I'm not actually sure we all did. So maybe we all owe somebody $10 each. Yeah,
Pride should be enough.
Yeah, the pride is there for sure. So like I got to go back to the boat and be like, yes, I got my big fish. Darren had got one as well earlier in the day, but his weighed 6 and mine was 6.6, and I was like, yes. So I got to be a bit cocky about that for at least a day. Yeah, as soon as something bigger came on the boat, I was like, well, that was fun.
Queen of the Spanny Mac until you were knocked off your perch by Jeremy.
Yeah, he brought in a really good one. And I think the rules maybe had changed recently where we were only allowed to get one each on the boat. So, I did try for another one because there were lots of people on the boat that may not get one, but it did not come to fruition, and that's okay. So well done, Jeremy, on getting the biggest Spanish mac of the trip.
But highlights of day one for you: stabbing your sharky friend off, landing a Spanish mac, and
getting the nickname Sweet Lips. Houlihan.
Yep.
And yeah, overall it was just really cool. And just like the first interaction of actually being able to be underwater and like seeing sea turtles and corals, like it was just mind-blowing. It was stunning, so different to New Zealand waters, but it was really cool. Anyway, so the way that it ran is that we had like a mothership, we had the big one, and then we had 2 tenders that would have at the back, which are like the smaller boats that you go out on for actual diving.
So they split you into groups just in the morning, like, hey, who's going on which tender?
Yeah,
Have
2 separate groups. Yeah, 2 separate groups. And then we would go out in the morning, would come back for lunch, and then we would go out again in the afternoon and then come back for dinner. So while we were out diving, the mothership would progress further up the reef, and then on the tenders we would drive back to the mothership. So it was kind of almost like we were like leapfrogging all the way up the reef.
Star Wars in the ocean. Mothership.
You know it.
Yeah, that makes sense though. So you're not kind of going back on yourself. You're slowly moving along different parts of reef as you go over the few days.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next day, it was incredible. We jumped in on some bommies. It wasn't super fishy where we were, but we could hear whales singing, and that was mind-blowing for me. It was just like, it felt like they were so close, but in real life they were probably quite far away, like a few kilometres at least, but it just sounded incredible. And we actually did see whales over the next few days. Like, I think I was a little bit jealous, but one of the days, a mother and its calf swam right up next to the boat that like Darren and his crew was in that day.
Awesome.
And I was like, oh my god, I wish I was in that one that day.
And each day that you went out, did you guys kind of go like, we're just going to see what's there, or were you like, we are going to target XYZ kind of fish?
We all had yarns at the start of the day, each day, and was like, oh, what do you want to get today? And we would kind of like hope for certain fish. As we were going up the reef, we were looking more like for the cods. So the purple cod, the coral trout and that kind of thing. But then like if we were like looking for tuskies, we particularly went to a tusky area, which is like where it's a little bit more like silty and maybe like a little bit less visibility. But there's also spots where there were tuskies and that wasn't, wasn't what it was either. So.
And was the diving, like, still at day 2 feeling like pretty hard and pretty different and a little bit stressful?
I think day 3 in the afternoon is when I started getting used to it. And also because I'd taken a roller, which I was very lucky to take, but I've never used a roller. And it just shot so different. And I just felt like, just such a noob. Like I just couldn't quite get the aim, eh? I feel like when I get a new gun, it takes me like 6 months to really tune it in.
You're not a noob. I didn't even know the difference between a roller and a real gun until very recently. I thought I was just mixing it up. But they're two completely different parts of functions of a gun. So roller being... what was the purpose of you having a roller? Was it going to be easier for what reason? Why would you take it?
Yes. So I didn't take my personal guns because they were kind of too short and not as powerful. I had a 120 roller from Weddy, carbon, and it was so that I could like really just like punch further. So in tropical waters, you might think a fish is really close, but actually it's quite far away. So you need to have a gun that's going to give it enough power to like oomph across and actually like, you know, make a connection with the fish.
So that makes sense that you were encouraged to take that because you hadn't
definitely
been using a gun like that. That's like quite a big leap up in changing
for
how
sure.
a gun reacts.
So my normal was a 110 just rail gun. And the other gun I took was a 130 rail gun, and I borrowed that off Jackson, so I appreciate you and thank you very much for that. Very sorry about the shaft I left in the reef. Carry on.
Okay.
Maybe we'll talk about that later. So day 3 I started really learning how to actually lay on the bottom, because first 3 days I kind of thought I was doing it, but a lot of the time, you know, your fins are up or you're moving around, but like it's actually kind of tricky for me anyway, because I haven't learnt it before, but how to balance yourself in a still position in such a dynamic area underwater, you know?
Yeah, it's a little different to like keeping your knees down but your top of your body's peeking over a rock trying to snoop snapper, isn't it?
Yeah,
off a
exactly.
burley. Like you're actually flat,
like dropping down next to like some structure, and then just flicking up sand or just scratching the sand and letting the fish come into you and just waiting them out. So that took a little while.
Makes sense though. So you're not kind of going back on yourself. You're slowly moving along different parts of reef as you go over a few days.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of day 3, I did actually get a chance to sit down with the boys over dinner and have a bit of a yarn about how their trip was going. So here you go. Okay, we are here after an awesome day of diving. It's day 3 on the Great Barrier Reef trip. We've got the whole crew sitting around at dinner table, so we're going to come and check in and see how the day goes. First of all, Jeremy almost didn't make the trip. Someone sliced him up a couple days beforehand, but he got out of surgery and still came along, so pretty solid.
Yep.
And he's slaying most out of all of us, isn't he?
Today. I've been showing up every other day, but I had a good day today.
What happened today for you, Jeremy?
Today we got on to a really good patch of cattle dog or purple cod, and we all smashed a heap of them. And then we dove a really, really neat edge, really shallow water. And towards the end of the day, I managed to pick up a really big Spanish, nice big Spanish in about 5 meters of water, which was pretty exciting. With a bit of help from Darren, a bit of backup.
We had a bit of a wager going that the person with the biggest Spanish mac, we all chucked in $10, and so far Jeremy's in the lead. I had it on the first day, and now
doubled it.
Now he's doubled it.
And I got a good cray today as well. That was well.
Yeah.
And a coronation trout.
So, what's your favourite part of diving tropical waters?
It's warm and it's clear, and there's a million different things that you can go and hunt for that are all harder than what we have at home.
Yeah, it's such a different diving style, that's for sure. I've really noticed that, but we'll talk about that another time. And also we've got Dean. How are you going, Dean?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
How was your day?
Not the best day today.
Yeah.
Only managed to land a single trout. So, not a good showing for me today, but been a great trip thus far. Great trip.
What's been your favourite dive so far? Do you want to describe it?
Yeah, I think probably on day 2, first dive of the morning, getting in the water, sort of getting the guns ready to go, looking down and just seeing a heap of probably 5, 6, 7 kilo trout swimming around on the bottom.
Awesome.
Yeah, good day.
That's so cool. Yeah, so lucky to be here out in the tropics.
Yep.
Big D.
Yo, what's going down?
How you going?
I'm going real good. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, for me, these trips are all about seeing other people achieve things. So I spent the last day or so with young Mark, and he's a first timer out on the reef, and he's achieved some really good things. That was a lot of fun. And then swimming with you, Elise, the first day or two. That was really good to see how far you've come as a diver.
It was pretty fun. I've definitely spent 3 days struggling away, but I am really enjoying it. It's just a whole different way of diving to what I'm used to. So
I'm ripping that phone back. She's being very modest. She's not struggling at all. She's diving like a champion that she is.
Oh, stop.
And this is going to be a future New Zealand women's champion.
Oh, stop.
Mark my words and put money on it at the TAB. Elise is going to be the next women's spearfishing champion at some stage very soon.
We'll give it a go. I'll give it my best shot anyway. Darren, while you're here, why do you put these trips together at all? You on the second week, you had a really cool first week with the crew. Now you're here with the second week. Why do you spend so much time organising this?
Well, I guess, I mean, for me, it's part of my business in a way. But I mean, why not? It's just one of those things it does take a bit of organisation, but I get as much joy out of seeing people do this for the first time as what I did in the old days when I was doing it for the first time myself. So I don't know, there's a lot of reasons I do it. I love adventures, and to me it's an adventure, and the big part of the adventure is seeing first timers get out here and experience the reef. And if I can use what I've learned over the years to get lots of other people to have a great time, then I'll do it for as long as I can.
Yeah, it's pretty special, and I think every single person here appreciates the time that you've put into it. And yeah, I know there's a lineup of people waiting to dive with you, Darren.
I don't know about that. They've got to tow my float.
Yeah. Tow the float and swim hard. Yeah, so next up we've got Regan, we've got Jake sitting here. 2 different boats. Well, a half day on one boat, a half day on the other. So we might be able to hear about 2 different spots. So how was the day for you?
Today?
Yes. Well, it doesn't have to be today. It can be any of the last 3 days. What's been your favourite dive?
Probably yesterday's dive, chasing those jobbies with you was cool. And then this morning smacking those cattle dog or purple cod was awesome.
That was pretty cool. We got down, we jumped in and we dove down. It was sitting at about 15? And first drop, there's like 20 cattle dogs just sitting in the sand, and we're like, oh yeah, time to clean up. So yeah, Regan did a pretty good job. You got 4. Yeah, you got 4, and then pretty solid ones as well. Yeah, that was really cool. Have you shot one of those before?
No, never shot any Australian species, first time over.
That's pretty decent. What about you, Jake?
I managed to get myself 1 purple cod this morning, which I'm very happy about. Definitely a bucket list fish for the trip. And then one other thing was getting a coronation trout yesterday, later in the day. They're just such a beautiful looking fish and really good eating, I hear. So that was another fish that I was really keen to get. But yeah, just all round, nothing in particular in terms of what the best dive is, but everything's just really good. I enjoy the clean water. It's not really what we're used to at home. You know, quite often we're swimming in 5 metres viz most of the time. You know, a good day is sort of 10 to 15, and here, 15 metres is generally what you're diving most of the time. So it's actually really good to dive in that sort of conditions.
One good thing about 5 metres of visibility in New Zealand is that we don't have crocodiles swimming around in that visibility. Unlike here, potentially in the coast.
and bull sharks and the
sharks.
possible tiger shark too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have you got a dream fish you'd like to get while you're here?
Two. Tusky and a Spanish mackerel, which I'm yet to see one, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Everyone else has, but I don't think I've seen one yet, so I'm waiting for it to happen.
That's my list too. That's what I'm trying to get. So hopefully we both do. What about you, Regan?
Not really. I don't really come with any expectations. Just here to shoot some fish, and everything's a first for me. So winning. Yeah.
Shooting fish is exactly what he's been doing. Turns out he's a bit of a slayer. Yeah, goodness me. And here we are with Mark. Mark, how has your day been today?
Oh, it's been good. Managed to finally get on the board with a bit of help from Darren.
Heck yeah, what'd you get?
A couple of coral trout. Shot another few, and they managed to escape, unfortunately. Had some fun fending off a couple of little baby white-tip sharks, which was interesting. They behaved quite differently to our bronzies back home.
They're quite spicy, aren't they?
Yeah, a lot more.
A little more saucy.
Lot more in your face.
Yeah, they had that a bit yesterday with the Spanish mac too. It was trying to take a few bites as I was trying to fend it off. Doesn't really care about being stabbed in the face, does it?
No. It seemed to be remarkably resilient to a good jabbing,
Yeah.
which was sucked, but you know.
How's it been diving with Darren yesterday and today?
That's been really good. Learned quite a lot. I'm quite happy to say that I'm probably the least proficient Sparrow on board.
I don't know about that, but carry on.
Oh no, I'm very happy to say that. It's been quite a while since I was last in the water. Before I moved to Australia, like in January last year. So it's been hard.
Have you dived in Australia at all, or is this your first time diving Aussie?
First time diving in Aussie.
Oi!
So it's been very, very different.
Good way to start.
Yeah, so I was over in New Zealand around April. Heard about this trip, was like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to buy some gear again and get back into diving over here, and then ended up with a medical issue, which put paid to getting a fair bit of water time, which sucked. And then it was into the hard winter, and the weather over in Adelaide has been pretty wet, pretty horrible, very low vis, and just been pretty miserable. So
Yeah.
looking forward to getting into it more over summer.
Well, I'm glad you got to have the time here and that you've been able to get in the water and you've been having a great time. So that's pretty cool.
It's been absolutely fantastic, just like the variety of stuff over here that you don't get in New Zealand is mental. Like just the different colours of the fish, a lot of them will come up to you and approach you a lot more.
It's ideal, when the fish approach you.
Oh, it means you don't have to go looking for them quite as hard.
Yeah.
If you're into sea life and coral, and it's interesting because I've got a reef tank. I'm able to sort of go through and look at all the aquarium species that you see. So there was some Clarkie clownfish. There are some a bunch of juvenile emperor angels I saw. There's a whole bunch of really awesome stuff that you just don't get.
It's cool being able to see all the little things, not just the ones coming in that you're trying to shoot. Like, it's quite hard because it's so pretty that it's almost too much to look at. You're like, ah. I could spend like hours just looking at all the small like invertebrates and tiny fish. Like, it's so cool.
That is my goal for one of our dive spots tomorrow, is to leave the spare gun behind, or just have it as a secondary, and just take along a camera and just get a whole bunch of photos of the reef.
That's a great idea. Yeah, and that'll probably be awesome for your hunting as well. Just being able to see how the fish come in and react differently.
Yeah, well, just like trying to take things a little bit more slowly.
Nice.
Dive, and the biggest thing I've learned is dive on top of the fish. Don't try and dive towards the fish. That has made a massive difference. Yeah.
For sure. No, it's cool, man. Well done, and it's really cool to see you out here and the whole crew is pretty awesome, and we're happy as to have you on board. So let's enjoy.
A lot of fun. I would recommend this trip to even if you don't have that much experience, the place that you dive can range in in depth from being knee height to being 15-30 meters. So
Yeah, for sure. Actually, speaking of, Darren, how do you get on this trip?
Just contact me at Weddy if you're keen. I've already got bookings for next year that people want to come with me. So if you're keen, let me know.
Cool, and we can put the email in this episode notes for you. Hello, Andrew.
Hello.
How you doing?
No, good, thanks.
How was today for you in the last couple of days?
Today was probably the best day for me today. Some of the diving spots yesterday were better, but I'm starting to get my bottom time, starting to feel my groove a little bit, Stopped underestimating the size of the fish.
Yeah, they're way bigger than you think they are, eh?
Definitely. I mean, obviously with the water being so clean, when you're looking from the surface down, it looks like a tiny little thing at the bottom till you actually get down to it.
Yeah.
And so today I just decided to start shooting a couple. And, yeah.
Have you had a favourite dive or a favourite hunt so far?
You know what, there've been a couple of good ones today. We found a nice little hollow, a couple of jobfish swimming around, some good ones.
Yeah.
And unfortunately we just didn't have any burley, otherwise we might have got them in. We sort of waited them out. But they're tricky fish, and just didn't. I took a shot, but it was just too far off. Hit low.
They do seem to be quite clever so far. Anyway, I would quite like to get a jobby by the end of the week, but we shall see.
Yeah, myself.
Have you got one yet?
No, not yet.
What have you shot so far?
Oh, just trout and a sailfin snapper. So yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fish, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said you got a sailfin, I thought you got a sailfish, and I was like, that's not right. What?
Too easy.
Yeah, I was like, hold on.
Yeah, no, look, it's a pretty easy fish to shoot.
Okay. Cool.
In the shallows, so it wasn't difficult at all. But beautiful.
Yeah.
I knew they were edible, so I thought it was something different. We'll take it, eh?
Have you dove in the tropics before?
No, it's first time in the tropics as well, and I'm not sure what I was expecting, but it's not quite what I was expecting. A little bit harder, possibly.
Yeah.
And I think it's because there's more current than I was expecting as well.
Yeah,
as well as
steaming sometimes.
Yeah, really ripping through, eh? And with the visibility as well, you misjudge distances, so you've really got to get it together, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes on drops I've been so zoned into just gliding down that I just go head first into the ground. It's good. And then I'm like, I'm here now.
Yeah, no,
better lay flat and pretend like I'm not here.
Yeah.
Have you had any funny moments on board so far?
No, I wouldn't say.
Oh yeah. You and Dean have. I'm not a funny person. We can vouch for that. No, just joking. So you and Dean have not seen each other in like 10 years, but you grew up together, and you decided to reunite on this boat.
So actually didn't grow up together, but all rugby mates. So we played rugby for 3, 4, 5 years together, something like that.
Yeah.
And so he moved over to Oz, I moved over to New Zealand, both from South Africa, obviously.
Yeah.
And so it's been good to meet up with him.
That's cool.
When we used to spear back in the day, we used to watch the old DVDs with the Coral Sea, and so it was always a bit of a sort of bucket list thing to do, and we've got it done now, which is great, eh?
So you guys actually speared together back in South Africa.
Yeah.
What is it like over there spearing?
It's very different to here.
Yeah.
But a lot of species to shoot, watch out for the teeth out there as well.
I was gonna say, is that quite a sharky area to be diving around in? I mean, no more than the Great Barrier Reef, right? Or is it even more hectic?
Back in the day, very hectic. I mean,
Wow.
on a weekend, any boat in the area would probably have a sighting of a white or something like that. So it was pretty wild, eh?
Holy heck.
Yeah.
Far out. That's incredible. And did you stay spearing when you came to New Zealand? And did Dean stay spearing when he went to Aussie? Or has he just picked it up and...
No, yeah, he's been spearing the whole time. Both of us have, yeah. I mean, it's something you don't really stop doing.
No.
Yeah, so we've both been enjoying it. None of us spear as much as we used to back in the day, so hence like getting the fitness and things back. You know, a lot of the time we're doing shallow dives in New Zealand, snooping snapper and that kind of thing. It's a different kettle of fish here.
Sick. Have you got a dream fish you want to get this week?
Well, I'd like to get one of those job fish. I mean, it's going to be tricky, but if I can, we'll get a jobby, maybe another Spanish, or not another Spanish, a Spanish.
A Spanish.
Yeah. We'll see,
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get it, man. That's super exciting. So actually, Jeremy, Andrew, Jake, and Darren, and no, that's us. That's the Weddy crew. They're all out here together, which is pretty awesome. Darren's put on a good trip, so it's really cool to be able to get the work crew all together for that. Very cool. And most importantly, we have got Isaac, our skipper. So, hi Isaac.
How's it going, guys?
He's been putting us on all the good spots today. How's it been going for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Good crew, bunch of legends. Always good to have them on board.
Have you found it a little bit punishing, or are we doing all right as Kiwis?
Yeah, Kiwis are pretty hard to deal with, hey? We're getting there, having a win.
We are precious, but we've got to be put on the right spots, you know?
They're good, they're all good, mate. No dramas.
How long have you been working for this charter?
Only about a month and a half. We're doing decking in the last 4.5, probably only 3.5, 4 years I've been running the deck, but been with Norcat for about a month and a half now. Fourth trip, 4 or 5 trip this is, so...
Ah, sick. Yeah, well, you don't seem like it. You seem like you've been going for a long time, man.
Yeah, go right,
Sweet. Like, easy as for you. Have you been spearing before? Like, what are you...
I've done a little bit as a teenager, but wouldn't say I've done much of it all. But all learning now, so love it.
I've heard a couple times you saying that you're pretty keen to get into it after seeing our trips.
Yeah, no, I'm really keen to get under the surface, hey, really keen.
Man.
Might even jump in on last day, maybe.
Hell yeah, definitely do.
Yeah.
So what do you do on a normal day-to-day on Norcat?
No, just run the deck and carry on like a loser.
As if.
Yeah.
Choice. Oh, well, thank you so much. You've been an awesome skipper so far and getting us all on the right spot.
Thank you, Elise. No dramas.
Appreciate it. So, where are you going to put us tomorrow, man?
I'm going to drop you in a few gutters and hopefully get some tuskies and stuff for you, and hopefully another 12 cattle dog cod.
That'd be really awesome, Just feel so lucky to have been able to get on a trip with such a good group of people. So thankful. Anyway, back to the story. I feel like day 3, I got my first hunt that felt really good. Like I dove down and I had seen a purple cod. And so I'd seen this guy and it was too far off in the distance, and I was like, ooh, I'm excited. I might be able to get that one. And then as I'm laying on the bottom, because I'm concentrating on being so flat, I look up and there's this big Spanish mackerel, bigger than the one that I had shot. And I was like, sweet. So I go to take a shot on it, took the shot, but unfortunately it tore off. And at the same time, Regan's on the surface watching down going, oh my God, she hasn't seen it. Oh, come on. And then goes to dive down to shoot it, but unfortunately that was at the same time that I dove up and took the shot. So yeah, I feel a bit bad. If I knew he was there and that was there, I probably would have been really happy to have let him have that one, because he probably would have had a better shot on it. But anyway, I came up, we came back to near where that spot was, and then I saw the flicker of that purple cod's tail in some structure.
Because are they, just for me who doesn't know about them, are they super purple looking underwater, or are they dark looking?
They're white with black spots.
White with blacky spots.
Kind of thing. So
quite a
cattle
deep
dog
fish.
cod, lash blur, purple cod,
names.
all the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're usually quite deep, eh?
Yeah, they're kind of a deeper fish. So they kind of range from we were catching ours at 15 to 20. That's deep for me.
It's deep I personally think it's deep for anyone. I wouldn't have been able to go that deep if I'd seen
Some
them on
people
that
are
trip,
hardcore.
So. Hardcore, man, hardcore. Okay, so
so I saw the flicker of the tail, and I was like, yo, sweet, and just took the dive, went down and laid down really flat on the bottom out in front of this rock. And then as I was going down, it had swum out of the cave and was moving around to the right, and I just kept my face down and then put my right hand out to the side and then aimed it where it was on the right hand side of my body, and just at the last second obviously had my eyes all shielded, so it didn't know where it didn't know that I was looking at it, and then just took the shot and got it. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can catch a fish. So it was like one of those like real happy, like buzzed moments where I was just pumped.
And like putting into action stuff you've been learning over the few days before that, like stuff you'd talk to people about and thinking, like you're saying, you're talking about all that body position. But I remember when you first came back and told me that story, like you were just saying how like it's just so different to, you know, think, okay, I need to operate really differently with this kind of fish so that I can calmly stay down there for a certain period. Not only stay down there for long enough, but be that deep. And then also be quite sneaky about the old eye contact. Sounds like quite a hard fish to
well, it's
get
like
close
being on
to.
a weed line without the weed line. So it's it's quite strange. But
good feeling then, landing
really
your first
good.
purple cod.
Yeah, and then we went to this reef. We went to a bommy, and it was just littered with them. There was probably like 25, 30 of them just sitting all around on this
And
bommy.
like good size as well.
Solid size.
Do they have a size limit on those?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Yes, I think so. I think it's 38 is the smallest, and then you want to get them over that. But there's also so many fish in Australia that you can shoot that I'm not 100% sure on all of the sizes like now.
Is it normal for there to be that many purple cod? Like, did they say that's normal?
No, it was definitely like a bit of a holy heck, look at all these boys here. Yeah, so we dove down and there were like so many fish. So each of us were able to take like 2 or 3 really decent sized fish. They were incredible. And we got to actually just cook them up that night as well.
Purple cod party. That picture of you guys is pretty cool, like knowing that you guys all went to that one area. It's a new fish for pretty much everyone in that photo. Yeah. And everyone just looks real pumped. Like it's obviously
without
quite an
us making it look like a death pile, there was definitely a few fish in that photo.
That's an achievement. I mean, it's a hard fish to get, and you know, you're all there from New Zealand. It's not a fish you get to see regularly, and I like that photo because it's like you're all on your tender together, and you've all got
pumped.
a fish in the same area. Like you're sharing the stoke. Yeah. It's not like you would share the stoke if one person
also,
got
they were
it,
quite like, I mean, you had to like dive down. I think we were all at about 16 metres, and you're just having to dive down and like wait for like over a minute for them to come in.
Like
for every
it's
shot,
one
you
thing
know?
to be proud of yourself for what you did, and I tried this new technique and I was real proud, but like that fact you all got one and like all shared that stoke, I think that's one of my favourite parts of your trip that you told me about.
Yeah, that was really cool. Another thing I got that day was a crayfish, a painted cray.
Ooh.
And I remember talking about it when we were going to Australia, being like, why don't people just grab them with their hands? Well, I'll tell you why.
Oh yeah, we did say that on the 2 Barriers episode. Okay, update us. So why is it
let me eat my words here, Laura.
Yeah.
So it's because they've got these 2 giant ass spikes, like over 1.5 inches long, that come out of the front of their head. And so if you grab it with your hand, you know when the crayfish like flaps, it can go right through your hand, which it did to somebody on one of the trips previously, and went right through their hand.
And not just like how New Zealand crayfish could have like, you know, spiky.
No, it's
actual
like
giant big stabby
2
spikes.
big spikes. Like if you haven't seen one, look it up. It's wild. I
Beautiful
brought home
and owie.
Yeah, beautiful and ouchy. So you can grab them if you're a hardcore Australian. Pretty sure the skipper, the guy that owns the charter that we went on, was like, oh yeah, just grab them underneath, like, you know, all hardcore. And I was like, I'm not as hardcore as you. But yeah, it was pretty cool pulling that out. I managed to get 2 crays over the trip. One was very, very small. Turns out they've got... Well, it wasn't very small. It was still edible size. But compared to how long their antennae were, like if you were to grab a red cray with an antenna that long, you're going to expect a body pretty big. But yeah, I was like, wow, okay, smaller bodies, longer antenna, Australia.
Nice. They look so cool. Yeah, you have a piece of it, I think, that you showed me.
Yeah, I brought it home. I brought it
genuinely
home.
looks like someone has painted it.
They're
with
very
beautiful
pretty.
paint.
They're very, very pretty.
Nice. So ticking off heaps of firsts and first species and seeing first things.
Yeah, and so my favourite day of all was the day that we got the Tuskies. So LJ took me under his wing and learned me all the things, which I was very lucky for.
LJ being Long John.
Long John.
A lot of Kiwis will know who Long John is.
I'd love to get him on the potty, actually. He's a bit of a champion. So he was really awesome. I think I was pretty hard on myself, and so I was like really struggling with it, and he sorted me out, which was good. So we went and we got some tuskies. So we were both like basically what we called mowing the lawns. So I'd dive down and move, and then would come back up, and then he would dive down, and then I'd dive down, come down, you know, basically like how you would do on a weed line. And yeah, we, while diving, had seen a couple, like he had shot a couple of tuskies, and I was like, heck yeah, like awesome tusky town, we're in it now.
And this is the black spotted tusk fish, which you've always dreamed of getting because, for the main reason, they look cool, because you and I are obsessed
Basically,
with turquoise.
Turquoise, and they look cool.
They look really different to New Zealand fish too.
Yeah,
like,
they
just
do.
look really out of it. They're this bright, beautiful colour. And
Yeah.
even though they're called the black spotted tusk fish, I kind of struggled to understand why they're called that, because they're just these giant.
They also look very
turquoisey
similar
things.
to parrotfish, which I think is what we were both actually looking at, going, wow, it's so turquoise
Probably.
and pretty. But when I got there, I was like, oh no, it is also very turquoise and pretty. But like definitely the parrotfish stand out more for being turquoise. But they're really good for the reef, so I'd try not to get any.
Are tuskies difficult to see, track down? You were saying before that the terrain that you would maybe target tuskies is a little bit different, like
Yeah.
worse viz and stuff like
It
that.
tended to be, I don't know if it's normal, but it tended to be worse viz. It was more like a silty kind of area that they would hang out in alongside the reef structure.
So they dwell around bits of reef, maybe in pairs rather than big schools and stuff?
Not
or-
necessarily pairs. Some of them were solo. So yeah, we'd dive down and we would just like lie on the bottom and see what would come in. Tuskies tend to like to come and check you out because they can be quite curious and they're really busy. But if you don't make it that shot, you probably won't see it again.
Oh, yes, I do remember you describing them as busy. I was like, so the ADHD fish of Australian Ocean.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think we get along well, me and that fish.
Yeah, exactly. So the first one I got laid down, managed to take the shot on it, and I was just absolutely pumped. We were high-fiving on the surface, and it was awesome. And just so stoked because the two fish I wanted was a Spanish mac and a black spotted tusky, and anything else on that whole trip I was like, we'll just be
Like a
happy
bonus,
with it. Yeah, exactly. So I was really, really happy. We kept swimming along until we got to one area that seemed like quite desolate, and it kind of cut into the reef a bit more. So it was almost like a little where the flow from the reef was coming through onto the sand. And so we were like, do we dive up in there or do we skip it? And then we're like, actually there's quite a few nutrients coming out of this. We went to the other side and it was like a whole new place. Like there were just like tuskies, parrotfish, it was everything
LJ,
around.
right?
Me and LJ, yeah. And so he dives down and sees like quite a big pair and then comes back up and didn't quite have the right shot on it. It's like, well, do you want to just breathe up and go again? And he was like, no, you're all good. So like I took the dive and shot one, and I was pumped. It was I think it went at 6.6 kg, and so he was a big boy.
Holy.
I was like super, super happy. Like these guys get up to 10 or 12 kg or something. Like they get big, but like that was probably one of the biggest fish I've shot. Like he was a big boy.
Yeah, I mean, the picture's on a good angle, but it's a big fish.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of how you hold it in that photo, like that is a big
It
tusky
just
that you
felt like the land of giants on that side. It was so cool. And so I was like yee-hawing. Like it was like, hell yeah, this is so good. And I think when I pulled it up, LG's like, well, now I'm feeling feelings of jealousy. he was cracking up, but he was super stoked for me, which was cool. And then like literally within like 2 minutes of getting that onto the float boat, he goes, hey, Elise, there's a red emperor down there. And I was like, oh my God, no, don't you want to go get it? Like, go get it. And he was like, no, you go get it. So he was real nice and let me take a look. And dove down and managed to plug a red emperor as well, which was like, I just hadn't even thought about getting a red emperor because I just assumed it was going to be like, it's like that, like that's the kingpin, like that's one of the coolest fish you can get. So I was just like
look at
pumped.
pictures and you think that someone's like copy and pasted it because they obviously look so bright and they look so big.
Yeah.
I think Alex Edwards had maybe got an Australian record or something for one, and they just like you say, they're like a pinnacle of Australian spearfishing, from what I
And
understand.
delicious, like one of the best fish you can eat. Like lots of line fishermen want to get those. Like, that's what they go and get.
Are they rarer to see as well? Like, did you not
I think
see?
so. Yeah, I mean, I only saw one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, the whole trip.
And only because LJ was like, go get that.
So he didn't have one already and said, oh, yeah, you get one too. He
No.
literally was like, hey.
Yeah. So the man.
What a guy. What a guy.
I know.
What a gentleman.
I was very, very happy about that. Yeah, so it was super, super cool.
How do they behave? Like, you were saying that the Tuskies are pretty
I don't really know.
Like
I haven't.
ADHD-ish,
All
or-
I saw was that it was there at the bottom, and then I shot it midway down because I didn't want to mess it up. So I
you
just saw
coming
it and
down
just
from above and thought, oh, we'll
glided
get you
down
my way
on top. It hadn't seen me, so I just shot it from above and managed to plug it. So I didn't actually get to see how they behaved.
Yeah, you're like, I'm just going to take you home. Nice. Yeah,
I like you. I'm going to shoot you, and I'm going to take you home.
Were any of these fish that you got on the day, did you try any of them on the day or on the boat?
Oh, yes. So our cook was incredible, and so Shannon, and she made the best dishes. Like, she was cooking up she cooked up a red emperor, she cooked up some deep sea fish that they caught on a line, the big eye nanagai, and then there's small eye nanagais, I think. No, not eye, mouth. Big mouth or small mouth nanagais, and they were incredible. The coral trout that we ate on board was delicious. We had Spanish mac.
Like, different to New Zealand fish, like comparative
Spanish
to other
mackerel is
things?
probably a bit more like a kingfish, I guess, with just like a variable in taste, I guess. Yeah, but like very, very nice.
Are any of these like a raw sashimi kind of fish that you would normally have? Like,
Yeah, I think we just had the Spanish mackerel as sashimi, and that was stunning. It was so good, with chopped up fruit and veggie. Oh, just fruit with chopped up fruit on it, and yeah.
I mean,
Your
I
worst-
wouldn't be
your
a
worst
fan
nightmare.
of the fruit chopping, would I? But I did see some pics
Grapes
and
and
it did look nice.
fish. Ugh.
And you said like the coral trout's kind of like the butterfish of Aussie, like
Yeah.
not that
Of
much
the
of a
reef
feat,
anyway.
but just tasty, and people rate their flavour.
Yeah.
So they get them as they see them.
Incredibly delicious. I am yet to pull one out of the freezer. I've got 19 kg of fish that I got to bring home, which is really cool because lots of people, even like at work, I mean, I work in as a park ranger, so there's a lot of conservationists around. They're like, how did you get Australian fish into New Zealand? Well, if they're seagoing fish, you can bring them back. So I brought them back in a poly box, frozen. On the boat, there's a flash freezer, and you can you put your fish in, cryovac it, and then I think it's at minus 30 degrees, so it just freezes really fast, and then it just keeps for a really long time. So all the fish is like sorted and filleted, and it's just easy to bring home afterwards.
People like me will benefit from being able to actually enjoy some of your
This is
Australian
true.
spoils back here at home.
Next time you come round, I'll get the tusky out.
Yeah, sorry about the
yet to
fresh
try.
scallops, you know, stopped you from being able to share.
I was going to feed her a beautiful dinner of red emperor or tusky, and she had to bring scallops. Ugh.
Oh, these are problems we have in life, that having to choose between some of New Zealand's last fresh legal scallops and some of the
And the North
Australian
Island.
spoils of the Great Barrier Reef. Good problems to have, if you
Tough
ask me.
times.
Okay, so I'm just, I'd like to hear some detail now because I haven't heard this whole story yet.
Yeah.
But I was kind enough last minute to loan you my very treasured spearfishing possession, which
Yeah.
I'm very attached to. It's my banana boat, my yellow wetty float boat. It's small. Everyone gives me shit about it. But you know what? It's practical. And
It's
I had to
perfect
borrow a
on the
few
reef.
people's float boats while you were gone, and they were too big and they were awkward. And they took up all this room on the boat. And I was really looking forward to like my float boat coming back. I was like, cool, Elise is coming back. Me and Banana are going to be reunited for spring. And I
Yes.
get a weird message from you. I think I might have even been at school. And it was like, one of those things where someone asks you if it's okay, they do something, but they've already done it.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, I hope you don't mind that blah, blah, blah. And then I just look
No.
down and there's this big long paragraph, and I think a picture of some old guy who looks like a very nice person, probably an absolute legend. I'm going to regret saying that. And just
Probably.
him leaving
is.
the boat you went on with my yellow banana
Yes.
wetty float boat.
Yeah.
What a friend,
You-
Elise. You borrow
you
my
were-
stuff, you give it
listen.
away.
You were lucky enough to be able to sell. Well, you got a new free one back in New Zealand from Darren. Basically, what happened is that Andrew Ruddock, Australian spearfishing
Yeah, I looked him up.
champion.
He sounds great. I
He's
looked him
the
up.
man. Like, he's basically like the god, like fucking the man at spearfishing. Like, he's like the legend of legends in
He's the
Australia.
Don of the Dons.
He's the Don of the Dons. Took a liking to your banana boat, and actually, think about this.
Well, I can't- I
that
don't
guy
blame
gets
him.
to tow it round, and
I don't blame the
you're
guy.
very
It's a good
lucky.
float boat. It's lucky. It's a good colour.
The thing is, not only does he get to tow your float boat around, he also has a banana boat that it matches, and
Get outta
he has agreed to come on the podcast. So
Oh,
I
right.
think that we've
All
had
right,
a pretty
I'll let
good
it
win.
slide.
He's the man.
I understand.
Anyway, you got a beautiful new shiny
A
float
completely
boat.
the same float boat.
Exactly
with
the same
slightly
in
different
every
writing
way.
on the lid. And you know what? That's okay.
We're gonna fill it with fish.
We're all right. We're excited.
Did you fill it with scallops today?
No, actually, I did not.
Oh, I was gonna say you wouldn't have got those
It
scallops. if
hasn't
you hadn't
actually
have-
been christened. I christened my new suit today, but I have not christened my new float boat. It hasn't been
Okay.
in the water yet. I'm looking forward to meeting him and talking to him.
Yeah, he's the man.
Do you have any funny, like if you had to, highlights? Just enjoying some chocolate spoils here. It's your late night on the podcast. Yeah, if you had to pick like some funny moments, what some like pretty crack up funny? I mean, you're on a boat full of dudes. Like, was any of it funny? It was all very serious.
I mean, like, it was all fun, but there weren't any like specific standout moments that were like, ha ha, like laughing at each other or anything. It was just all very enjoyable. I mean,
So fun.
there was like,
Fun,
I
not
guess
funny.
the funniest moment was, I don't know, I fell asleep in the middle of the boat, like in like where next to the kitchen where everyone walks past, and obviously was maybe like open mouth sleeping. And this
Not just open mouth sleeping. I've lived with you. You snore. So, yeah.
Sometimes I snore. I've heard that I have a masculine snore.
Might have looked like a bit of the old sweet lips.
So, yeah.
Old blubber lips.
Oh, sweet Hot Lips Houlihan was having a good old open mouth snore. Oh, that's something funny. I'll tell you about that later. And then when I wake up, basically the captain of the boat was in the kitchen too, and he goes, "Yeah, I was watching you sleep." I was like,
Way to
"Oh,
make it
God."
weird, man.
I guess just being funny, but oh man, it was crack up. I was like, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so my name is now Alice. So I got the nickname Alice basically after somebody forgot my name for like 2 days.
You're the only girl on the boat other than the chef. How do they mix
But I
that
think
up?
he was just
It's
teasing
not
me
hard
at
to
the same
remember.
stage. So my name's now Alice. That's who I want to go as from now on. And
Alice in the Ocean Wonderland. Nice.
And then we realised that like everyone, we just started calling everyone by different names just because it ended up being quite funny. So like Darren was Daryl, and Jake was Jack, and yeah, everyone just got changed around a little bit, which was pretty funny. But Alice like had a different persona. She had a different personality. So anything that went really fucking wrong was Alice's fault, basically.
Nice. So
yeah.
alter ego, blame
Yeah.
it all on Alice.
Yeah, Alice fucked up. At least didn't fuck up. Alice fucked up. So, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I had one of my questions was the coolest creature that you saw for like the whole trip. Could you narrow it down?
Oh my goodness, yes. So I got to see a really big school of what was it? Bump head parrotfish. So there was like probably a school of like 30 or 40 of them swimming around, and these guys
I'm
were
just Googling
huge.
this. A bump head parrotfish. Kind of
Yeah.
looks like a tusky.
Yeah.
With
So
a
all of the
head injury.
parrotfish, yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I've had head injuries. A bump head parrotfish with a slightly Neanderthalic looking head.
They all look a little bit derpy, eh? The parrotfish.
Derpy, that's, yep.
But this guy, they've got these like big, like, I mean, they've got beaks,
Beaks.
but they've got these like dorky looking teeth, and they just look derpy, but they are so cool. All parrotfish kind of have that.
It says they can grow up to 75 kgs.
Yeah, these guys are
Holy,
huge.
that's like heavier than you.
We saw some that were probably like, I don't even know how much they weighed, but they looked bigger than me, and they were all just in one school cruising around, and it was so
They got
cool.
heaps of names: bumphead parrotfish, humphead parrotfish, double-headed parrotfish,
Yeah.
buffalo parrotfish, and giant parrotfish.
Yeah, these things were massive. So that was pretty spectacular to see. What else?
Wow.
Just all of the different, like, I mean, you can get all really close to the coral, and all the colours and variations of corals were just incredible. We saw a mummy whale and a baby whale breaching, so that was pretty cool.
Did you also see, I know you talked about the black and the white tip, but didn't you see some bull sharks or tiger sharks?
Oh
as well?
yeah, no, we we had a bit of an interaction with a bull shark. The moment I went to go, I said, LJ, I'm just going to put this red emperor on the boat because it's got, I haven't got any more room in my float boat. And he's like, yeah, sweet, takes one dive. When he comes up, I just hear this, oh, and I'm like, uh-oh. So I like swim back to him. And as I swim over, I see a bull shark just drop down. And then he was like having to fend off this bull shark. So
How
it
big
had
is this
been
boy?
probably like 3.5, but just like maybe 4, but just a big, thick, round
How
boy.
different do they look to like a bronzy in the water?
Oh, I mean, just a bit more like a tank.
More barrely.
Yeah, more barrely.
Do they behave differently? Or did that one? When you say like, did
I
you
didn't
say it
have a
attacked
huge
it, or did you say it came at him like circle?
No. Like it was just like coming in for a fish that he had shot, kind of
Okay.
like just like a bronzy would, We went to Lizard Island on one of the last nights, and while filleting and doing the fish frames and stuff, at the back of the boat, there's about 8 to 11 sharks all just going for it, and the
No,
giant
thanks.
GTs.
No, thank you to the shark party at the back of the boat.
That was quite cool to watch though from the boat. It's insane. Like we're
What
on
are
a
they
big
doing?
charter
Just eating?
with like a bunch of people, but you're way out in the middle of the ocean. So like we went 350 kilometers north of Cairns, so like pretty far up. And I remember waking up at like 2 a.m. to go for a wee, and I go out. And I'm just like, look overboard and look at the stars and look at the ocean. And I was just like, had this huge feeling of just how small I was. And I was like, oh my goodness, if you were to fall in here, like, no one would ever know. Like, it's just, you'd never get found again. It's just crazy.
It's a long way from help.
Oh, yeah. It's just, I felt very like,
You're a little blip.
yeah. And I just thought about everyone who goes sailing and just goes in like, I mean, to them, they go all across the world, but like you just feel so small, and like the ocean is just so big. So like, yeah, I want to learn how to sail, but I also am like, holy heck, that would be quite intense.
Yeah, it would be. Wow, one of my
An
other
ominous
questions.
feeling, shall I say?
Ominous. Your place in the world. You didn't get any real like proper injuries over there, eh?
Nah, no injuries. I just like hurt my ear on the like last day, so I just couldn't really dive very deep.
Was it like you hurt it on a particular dive, or like it started to hurt
Like
as the
just
days
had a bit
went
of
on?
a reverse squeeze, and so I was like, oh no, and was really worried that it would ruin my diving, but yeah, it was okay. I just kind of stopped diving deep that day and just like took
So
it
you
easy and did
could
a bit more
dive,
of like
but
a
you're just easing off so you didn't like make it sore.
I was a surface dweller for the next like afternoon and next morning. I
Ain't
just
nothing
took
wrong
lots
with
of
shooting from the
videos.
surface.
Well, there was no shooting from the surface. It was just more like just looking at like all the pretty corals and stuff. Yeah, so it was good. It was good, a way to take it in, but it meant that I could do a good dive on the last day, which was cool as well. Oh, so here's one story. Here's a funny story, taking back. Here's a funny story for you. So we had got into an area where there was like a bit more of like a bull shark area, and then the skipper Isaac pointed out an island. He goes, that's where all the saltwater crocodiles hang out. And I go, oh yeah, good, cool. So they could be around here, yeah? And he was like, well, no, probably not, but like there's a chance. And so everyone kind of like had a little look at each other, and it's me on the boat with 5 dudes, and like at each spot that we were going to, one of us was getting in to check out the area before we actually all get in, just to see if it's worth it. And then suddenly all eyes went to me. And I was like, why am I getting in with the saltwater crocs? Like, what the heck? Like, come on, guys. God, make the only girl on the boat get in there. And then someone pipes up and goes, women's rights, equality. You go first.
The unanimous decision that you should get in first.
I was like, stuff you guys. So, yeah, ended up jumping in with the winnow crocodiles, luckily. But it was just funny how fast all of the eyes turned to me and was like, you're up next, mate. I was like, thank you. Yes, that was a funny moment.
Do you have any tips for, like, if someone was either planning on going, like, to particularly the Great Barrier Reef, or like on a liveaboard, or to another country to dive? Like, do you have any kind of tips that you're like, I wish I'd thought about that, or just things that you're like, that's crucial?
I probably would have tuned myself into the gun that I was taking a bit more. So if you're taking a longer gun, make sure that you've used it and you're used to it. What else? I mean, I just practice a lot of weed lining. If you're diving in New Zealand anyway. I would, you could do the 50 days spare ready course with Shrek. Like,
nice.
that would get you there for what you need to be able to do, I guess. Yeah, just practicing your breath hold.
Health-wise, how did you find the heat and stuff? Like, were you keeping hydrated and not getting sunburned?
Yeah, take some, definitely take some electrolytes with you. There were some on the boat, but it was just like a different flavour to what I was used to, and I try not to have too much sugar, and that one was just pumped full of sugar. So I'd be taking electrolytes with you. Overall, just those things.
Okay. Well, there's lots more you could talk about, so I'm just going to give a few little snippets. But if you had to pick one of your moments, just your proudest moment, what would you pick?
Ooh, proudest moment, two of them would be getting, the Spanish mackerel and being able to land it, and also just that tusky, just being able to get that massive tusky and just feel so pumped and happy, and it was just a really good vibe.
Nice. I wish I'd been there to see that, but liked hearing about
Next
it anyway.
Next time.
And if you had to pick one of these people, it's a bit of a mean question of me, but one of these people that you went on this dive trip with and you dived with, dive with, you had to pick just one person, who was your favourite to dive with? Or is that too hard to pick?
It's too hard to pick because I dove with everyone. So I stayed kind of in my tender. So I dove heaps with LJ. He was the man. He just knows so much about the water. He knows so much about diving. Regan, aka Keegan, is just like an epic time. He's just a really good diver. He was really humble and was like, oh no, I don't really know much about this, and then just would go down and slay all the fish. So bit of a secret weapon. So I'd be real stoked to dive with him again, definitely in New Zealand. Jake and Jeremy, just a really good energy, and just incredibly talented, and very thoughtful on the fish. And then obviously Darren, I just learn so much from him every time I go out, and just really appreciate the patience and time that he puts into me and puts into everyone else on the boat. So
it must have been really good too having
that's
people,
my one person.
It must have been really good too having people who've been to that place before. Like, you're not all new to going there, so it adds that little bit of like background kind of experience and calm of where you're going and what you're doing and what to target and all that kind of stuff.
I would have loved to dive with the other boys too, but we just happened to not be on the same boat, so we got to just tell stories when we got back.
That must have been some of the best parts, right? Like you're saying, you go back for like lunch and dinner, like just catching up on what did you see, how did you go today? Is that kind of like some of the coolest part of it? Yeah,
definitely. The stories were pretty good. Barry's always hilarious. Oh, I forgot Peter was on my boat too. Peter Mans, he was really fun to dive with as well. So shout out to everyone there and to our skip. Thank you so much, Isaac, for driving us around. Troy for running the charter and just making sure everything ran really smoothly. Richie from getting us to where we need to go, and Shannon in the kitchen just absolutely nailing every meal. So she even made a birthday cake for Mark. Oh my God, Mark was on the boat too. Mark was great to dive with as well. See, I just can't choose.
There's a lot
It
of
was just
people.
such a good group. Yeah,
Must have
everyone.
felt like a really, I mean, like 5 or 6 days to us is, okay, 5 or 6 days, but you get pretty tight with people when you spend that much time with people in
Yeah.
a condensed period. Plus, you're having these like really life-changing experiences. So,
Yeah.
it sounds
Everyone.
awesome. Has not made me any less jealous that I didn't go, but there will be more trips.
There will be
and
more trips.
I plan on doing one similar, but
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go somewhere cool, man. We'll go to like Fiji or Vanuatu or something like that.
somewhere warm.
Somewhere warm, somewhere tropical.
I did fill in some time while you were gone. I got a winter kingy with the
Yes.
CAG Chase and Gather boys.
did.
They make a mean set of YouTubes, and yeah, they took me out on a couple of different dives. And we'll be taking you out soon too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was really cool to go to the Mokahina Islands and get a nice winter kingy. That was pretty exciting. And
When you
where
sent that
else?
photo through, I was like, hell yeah, girl.
Yeah, went out with old Uncle Spiro and one of my friends, Elle, and did some really awesome diving with them at a place I've never dived before up north. And yeah, seeing Uncle Spiro actually on the spear fishing, not just on the camera for once.
Whoa.
And Elle got her first trev and first kahawai, which was really cool to like witness that
Cool.
with her. And yeah, and I think one of the other days in the same weekend, caught up with our mate Minty up north as well, but went more wide the other way and went to the Cavilli Islands. And same thing again, just always beautiful diving in those spots and diving with
Yeah.
lots of different people. And yeah, it was all right as a second option to diving with you, Elise.
We've got to get in the water again, eh? Yeah, I think our next dive together will be
Next
weekend of
weekend.
the 20. Yeah, next weekend, 21, 22.
next weekend.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Exciting. Yeah, I'm pumped for that. We might even do a Spiro Diaries that weekend.
Oh, yes, but yeah, we'll see what the weather brings and where we end up and who we end up diving with.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Wow. Thank you,
Well,
Laura.
if anybody
for,
wants any more
finding out.
detailed looks at Elise's fish, there's quite a few on our Instagram of the different fish she got over in Aussie and on her own Instagram, and she's got a bajillion more photos that we'll put up over
I
the
have
next
not
couple of
put up
weeks.
much,
So you can
content at all.
see all those beautiful things, and I haven't even looked at all the GoPro footage of different stuff except the old shark choking on a coral trout, but I'm sure there'll be heaps of stuff coming up over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So people can get all excited and sort of see what she's just been describing, which sound like an absolutely epic trip.
Yeah.
With some
Huge amount of
expected great
learning,
slaying.
incredible amount of learning, a lot of blue, beautiful water. Yeah, just scratches the itch, but it just makes me want to go dive even more, you know.
Yeah, find the money, go to awesome places, get on
Yeah.
boats and dive with awesome people.
Say yes.
Cheers for lending us your ear holes yet again. If you have any questions for Elise, feel free to pop us a message. And if you're keen on planning your own barrier reef trip or heading along on one of the Witty ones, get in touch with the Witty Store or Darren Shields.
We would love it if you could pop us a rating or some feedback on Spotify. Thanks for listening. Toodles!